are my friends. Come along with me, see how the story ends.
This episode is brought to you by testkitplus.com. We all know how important it is to prioritize your health and well-being, especially when it comes to recreational activities. That's why we want to tell you about our buddies over there. They can be your go-to resource for high-quality, easy-to-use recreational test kits. Whether you're planning a weekend getaway, attending a music festival, or just having a good time with your friends, it's really important to make sure you know what you're putting into your body. So head on over to testkitplus.com/professional hippies. That way you can be sure you're safe and you have the peace of mind of what you're putting in your body. They have test kits designed to detect a wide range of substances, providing accurate and reliable results in the comfort of your own home. Knowledge is power, so don't leave anything to chance. Again, that's testkitplus.com/professional hippies.
Asking you, Colin, is there anything you don't want me to talk about?
Yeah, normally I just don't want you to talk at all. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Professional Hippies. Today we have an episode we have been dying to record, an episode that people have actually requested for. So how about that? It's not too often we get to get some requests in the inbox. We have the whole crew that went to Burning Man 2024 here together. If you can't see us, if you want to see our pretty faces, you can watch it live. Recorded live on Spotify, YouTube, all the places. But without further ado, how do you do?
I do.
How's everyone feeling after that experience? All three of y'all's first times.
Feeling great.
Was it what you expected?
Well, I want to come in heavy, like I'm a changed man, you know? Changed
like
man.
That's the only acceptable
really
response coming from Birdie Man.
Expect any of what the fuck went on out there. That was the definition of unexpected.
Austin, I feel like you did what you would do at Bonnaroo. Like you just stayed in front of the speakers the entire time.
Dude, I was on the speaker.
Yeah, the biggest difference for you was some of the speakers were moving this time, right?
Yeah, dude, that's just
I feel like cool, Austin was their tester. They were like, "Is he enjoying it? All right, speakers are fine. Just leave them be. Don't update them."
No. More.
It was different to see the people like moving with the stage as you went along, like not just on the bikes, but the people just like hiking with the stages as they went along.
Dude, it was one of those things. I wish they had like bike tie-ups. I know some of them did, but it'd be great if they just had like trailers. You could throw your bike in there, and then you could really just fucking get after it, dude.
I saw some of them had like little hooks, just hook onto them.
Yeah,
That was, I think this was the first year I saw like the hooks where you could grab a hold of the art car and ride.
No, like to hook your bike onto?
No, not the hook. Are you guys talking about hooking your bike onto?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw some really sketchy business where you could just grab the art car and it drag you.
No, there was
Hopefully
definitely
right
one with stringers coming
in
out
front
the
of
back.
the art car. That'd be the best place for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then some
right
stuff
by the rim.
you can climb as well. Yeah.
Drag me across the park.
Preferably with fire shooting out of the top of it.
If you could just permanently
I mean, there's,
attach
like,
yourself
Robo
to the handlebars, I think that'd be the safest option. Just so it doesn't come disconnected, just in case, you know.
Robo Heart has that literally like massive heart in the top of it that people climb in and on top that looks like an adult jungle gym. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
I literally
that
every time I see
completely
people
lost me
in
there.
that and it's moving, I'm just like, how are you okay? Like I wouldn't feel safe, especially in like moving in that hard.
I'm
is
sure
like,
they didn't, but that's part of the thrill.
No, they're like, this is the best thing ever. It's the adrenaline.
Well, like the mushroom with the chicken wire floor.
Oh, that was trippy. I had to get in and get out of that.
Yeah.
I thought the wind hit, and
The
I
one
was
that you
like,
said that was going to collapse.
Dude, the day of the burn, everybody was on one side of it, and it was just at like a solid like 15 degrees leaned over.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It'll hold.
It's like lag bolts on one side, just starting to pull out.
That's how they knew how to take it down. They're like the last day, just put everyone on the side, undo a couple bolts.
One guy comes up and just pushes it over with everybody.
There we go.
One of my friends that I was showing the engineering, because that is the interesting thing about Burning Man, is that there's such a spectrum of engineering from like a lot of it's just I have a problem and let me see how I can solve this. You have some people that draw blueprints. Like the temple is my go-to. I'm like, look at this. Hippies built this. That's incredible. And then
Professional hippies built it. Like these people have like intense engineering jobs outside of here. They're not just like a bunch of hippies that live in a camper van and like, let me just build this really cool temple. Like,
No, that's
Shoot
the
strings and
question mark
bubblegum.
stage. That's
No, they came up with that like a
the
week
temple.
before. A week before they
probably
come up
Austin
with
was
a
there
full
the entire
design.
time.
Oh no, this checks out for sure. Let's climb it.
Those are not professional hippies. Those are all looks hippies over there for sure.
they're all brought together with one goal and one goal only. How loud can we get this?
And we get it. And you said there's a guy with money funding it? Okay, got it. Just that's all I needed. But yeah, the temple is like I think they have a different architect each year. Volunteers their time to go into that, and then who knows on the engineering. Like I
Yeah,
feel like
who knows?
they got to look at every engineer looks at that, and some engineers just like, all right, I guess we'll try that.
Well, I
one.
was showing a
You would-
buddy, and it like pulled up on Google. Like if you Google Burning Man Temple, some of the images look AI, but those are the I don't know what you would call it, like the drafts or like what they submitted for approval, the rendering. Yeah. And I'll be damned. It's like the temple every year that we've gone, it's like that eye, right? In Deep Playa.
Yeah, it's like almost identical to like the draft of what you see,
Yeah.
which is insane. They're like looked at it and they're like, yeah, we're gonna build this exact thing, and there's not one thing that's gonna go astray.
Like how often does that happen? You know?
I was definitely impressed with some of the curves they had going on. It's like, man, you guys really you guys took some detail and just put it out there.
Well, the funny part is too, I saw one of the guys posted in the Burning Man Facebook group that was a part of the build crew, and he kind of really eloquently summed up like the build of that project. And then at some point it kind of starts taking a turn, and he was talking about like at some point we realized we have to make this thing work and we don't have the supplies we need. I have never put so many zip ties on something in my life. So you're looking at that, realizing it's really zip ties behind it.
American technology leaped when zip ties were invented for sure.
I mean, to be fair, it's only going to last like 7 days. So I feel like cutting corners is the name of the game.
Yeah.
And then they burn it. It's not even like they take it down and reuse
That's true.
material. They're like, nah, burn that motherfucker.
That's true. And then no one gets to see it. No one has to see where you.
Had your flaws.
They're like, you thought this was going to fly?
I think at some point, some of us were looking at what we thought were the columns. We thought it was like a solid column. We were like, no, that's just some plywood going around in a box. Who knows what's inside that thing?
Chicken wire.
Some bamboo in there holding it up. Don't worry about it.
So I'm kind of curious. I want to hear from you guys that it was your first year. What I don't even know that. I mean, there's so many different directions you take it in, but like, what was a highlight, low light, and something that you felt like you were most surprised to see or experience out there?
I was probably most surprised that there wasn't more chaos. Like, I mean, not that there wasn't plenty, but it was so organized and kind, and like, I don't know. I didn't see a single fight, disagreement. I didn't see anybody struggling. I didn't get help. You know, like it was pretty organized chaos the whole time. More organized than I expected, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it is kind of remarkable.
that one night we saw that what we thought was a random fire, and we were just kind of looking at it like, man, that looks kind of crazy. That was just another piece of art burning. It's like, nope, that's supposed to be
Bland
happening.
fire.
Can't take it home.
Organized chaos.
We were so certain too. There was propane fuel in that thing. We're like,
I would like to
100%.
point out that I was the only one that was like, no, I'm pretty sure that looks like it's meant to happen. And you're like, no, there's no way that's
No,
meant to
it
happen.
definitely
That's
just
way too
flared up.
big.
That was a flare.
It seems so early in the week for them to do that.
yeah, it was like Thursday, right?
Yeah.
No, earlier than Thursday. But you got to think the cone burned, I think, on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
So like
Such an
art
early-
burns
Going Wednesday,
throughout
huh?
the week as you go. I guess that we just didn't realize before how early art did burn.
It'd be nice if they could survey us. The traffic cone was, I mean, that was like a 4-story tall traffic cone.
That
It's
thing
very
was
helpful.
fucking huge, dude.
And getting around, you just were like, aim for the traffic cone and go.
And then it gets burned down and you don't know where you're going.
Didn't realize how much of a landmark the traffic cone was for us.
Wow.
Like, figure it out, bitch.
Austin, what about you?
Definitely no lowlights, but I mean, I'll never forget the first night we rode out to the outside of the circle, so not deep playa, but just to hit the circle where you can see the open desert and just all of the nonsense that's going on out there. All the art lit up, all the bicycles zooming around, the art cars going every which way, and I mean, it just gets progressively more wild as the week goes on. More and more lasers, more and more flame, more and more bicycles, more and more art pieces, like just more and more planes with fireworks and laser beams, the light shows. I mean, dude, it was incredible. I just hands on hips, mouth agape the whole time. Just you guys seeing this? Dude, some guy, I remember I was having a discussion with this dude about the plane, man, and he was like, "Nah, man, that's just steel wool." And I was like, "Yeah, because it's illegal for planes to have fireworks. Like the FAA just won't approve it." He's like, "No, it's not fireworks. That's how they get away with it. They put steel wool in the boxes." And then he walks off, and I shit you not, 20 seconds later, the plane literally starts gushing fireworks out the side of it. And I was like, "What the fucking?" What?
He was the controller, actually. He's like, launch the fireworks, launch them. Fuck up this dude.
He was just messing with you the whole time.
No,
If you guys aren't in the Facebook group, I highly recommend joining that Facebook group on Burning Man. I mean, I don't know what Facebook's really good for anymore besides like groups, but the plane, the person that like put on the plane thing, he's already starting the GoFundMe for next year.
I don't think I saw the plane. Like, I don't think I know what you're talking about right now.
You didn't see the plane with lasers?
I don't think I like. If
You
I
were
did,
right next to us.
Oh yeah, we were
sure,
all
I
together.
all saw it the
It was
first
either the
night.
first or the second night.
I literally
right
don't
at us.
remember.
I'm pretty sure you videoed it.
I don't remember
Man,
the
I
plane with
must have
lasers
been, like, on
either.
I must have been on another planet already because like that's not ringing a bell.
Yeah.
I just
I'm gonna have
remember
to
the
look at the
green
video.
star
You
shooting
toured the
lasers
solar.
I don't
back
really
at
remember
us.
either.
T-Max, you said you don't remember?
No, I don't remember this.
Okay, so
We
I'm
all
not
saw
alone,
it.
see?
We all looked at that. We're like, look at that crazy
If I'm
thing.
not mistaken, directly after seeing the plane that appeared to be on fire shooting lasers, directly after that, we were all
I feel like I would
interviewed
have
about
remembered that.
what art car we thought we were going to see, like a puppy.
True.
Oh, man, that was-
yes, yeah, that's actually when it was. So it was the parade or whatever.
Yeah.
It was the parade art cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair though, I feel like Burning Man is the only place where you could see something like that and then have it blend into the background of all the other nonsense
man.
going on, and you just forget about it. if you're just going about your day, you know, in the city or whatever, like, yeah, you're gonna be like, yeah, the day
But
that
whatever
the fucking
you're picturing when it comes to the tip of that plane, by the way, it's actually duct tape and fireworks. That was that's what was on the tip of the wings.
I do
Oh,
have a
Duct tape and
video.
fireworks.
Oh, I did film it.
I do remember that.
That's
Okay.
a typical hold my beer moment. We're like,
That
yeah,
was
I'll
on
shoot
that
it
first
before.
night where it's just kind of like what Austin said, like, wow, there's so much I can't even fathom. Like what?
Yeah, and to be fair, we'd only been on the out in the playa for like 15 minutes at that point. I was like, yeah, this week's gonna be fucking.
And for our opening ceremony,
The moment that did it for me that I was like, this is going to be a great week was when we got to the fire at that first camp that we stopped at. And that guy had a little mini frozen pizza that he was trying to heat over the fire with his hands. No stick, no
fingers
nothing.
closer to the fire than the pizza itself. You know, just
Yeah, it's like using his hand as like the hot plate underneath it.
I mean, you typically see that later on in the week. Like that is so common.
won.
People are just desperate. So to see that, what was that? Like Sunday night?
It was
I
the
think-
first night. Whatever, that was
Yes,
the
it must
first
have been
thing I
Sunday.
saw when I went to bed.
It must have been Sunday night, and he was just roasting his pizza in the fire, and I was like, man, you're starting off a rough start here, man.
wow.
Wouldn't be rough when that pizza gets heated up, though. I'll tell you what.
I want to know if it ever did.
Here's at the
Probably
rate he was
not.
going.
We're like,
He
you
did
can
not look
spike
like he
it
was
on the
having-
metal. And he's
I
like,
feel
nah,
like
I'd
the-
rather burn my hand to heat this
Yeah.
up. Like, okay, dude.
You know when it's done because your fingernails probably pop off the same time the pepperoni crust up.
Yeah.
I'm still pretty disappointed in the fact that Dylan and Austin didn't bring back stuff for s'mores after they went back in town. It was the perfect opportunity to have s'mores on the playa.
That would
Yeah.
have been nice.
Drop the ball.
You're
all
right.
know,
But we
El
had a
Popo.
delicious
Feel like,
burger
dude,
and beer
right here,
instead.
just-
I'll tell you that. That was probably the
We
best
got
meal
more
we had
beer,
all
don't
week.
worry.
Mm.
We did a good job on the beer too. We only brought home, I think, like 16 beers.
Yeah.
Dang, that's pretty good.
Yeah, maybe 18, maybe 14. I don't know, but pretty good. I'm still unpacking dusty shit. By the way,
Yeah.
We did bring back some of those peach high noons though, Tyler. So
I couldn't
four of
find
those
them.
bad boys.
I found them in
Oh,
the
they
cooler
were in
one
there.
day. And I went to go grab for like I saw them go in. I was like, nice. I'm gonna go grab them. 15 minutes later, I went to go. They were gone. I was like, oh, I guess that was it. I couldn't
Was
find
that
the
right
rest of
next
the
to the-
cases.
half a gallon of red wine that we also brought home.
oh, did we bring that wine home? Austin,
What?
you didn't take a sip of that wine?
Look, I did.
Nah,
actually.
that's
Thanks
a
for
I opened
holding
it up on
Leads
the
four
last day.
sips taken
Yeah.
from
No,
it.
no. You should have taken that shit out to Camp ? Made everyone slap a bag.
For
with
sure.
you.
I
Yeah.
opened it up the last day when we were packing everything up. I was like, no way we're going back with this thing.
Hangover in a bag.
Unopened.
Hangover in a bag. Anybody? It's
I
hot.
just started-
I should have taken it out. It honestly should have been taped to my basket. That would have been a
It
great
was so
place for
warm.
that.
Or to your like chest, like just take a sip. Like
with
a
the
sip of my
with the
wine.
fucking poncho on, just be like, yo,
Yes.
who wants some?
Yeah.
I mean, what good's it gonna do on your basket because you left your bike for 8 hours dancing at ?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We came to check in on you at one point, and I see you drinking from other people's camelbacks. And I'm like, Austin, do you have water? You're like, oh yeah, I'm good. I got plenty of water. I'm like, what are you doing? That would be funny to put red wine in your camelback, though. Someone's out of water.
Locked up.
That sounds
Yeah, it's just surprising.
terrifying.
You're like, what kind of left turn do you want your evening to take?
Like
have
when
no
all you have
water,
to drink
but-
on the when you're a castaway in the ocean is salt water. It's like fucking.
That would be a crazy move when people, because people are going to ask you for water, just fill it up with vodka. You just borrow someone else's water, so when someone finally asks you for it, you're like, yeah, no problem.
Dude,
No,
nobody wants
let
to be
him
that
down
guy,
it.
bro.
Let him down it and be like, bring out another one. Here's the orange juice.
I can't imagine a quicker way to not make a friend, dude. Like, dude, if people are asking you for water, they like really need it. You know what I
They
mean?
really
That's
need
the-
just really let them down.
You know, one of the things that I can't believe went so smoothly this year were the problems. The generator fuel pump going out, having a backup fuel pump, the air conditioning. We were talking about that earlier, the whole cover being ripped off, but the thing kept on trucking. I braked so hard at one point not to hit T-Max. I mean, it was like a grocery store moment. My mom used to scream at me, you got the whole grocery store and you're up in my ass. I braked so hard that the axle comes off of the bike. And Tyler happens to have a specialized pair of pliers to be able to get the nut off of the axle. Abby's like, oh, I think you would able to figure it out with a multi-tool. And I was like, dude, that would have been the longest walk back to the first camp.
I would have been so
Dude,
pissed.
Your brake rotor had a curve in it. Like this. I was straightening the brake rotor out there. Just
Oh,
you fucked
man.
up, mind you. I was fucked up. Just peeking at one point, just like trying to
wrenching
get
on it,
my
yeah.
hands to work the way I needed them to. It's just trying to get this brake rotor straightened out. This wheel, the axle just reset in position. Somehow it locked itself crooked. Just like
Dylan getting a backup bike, you know?
I am
Good
so
move there,
glad.
dude.
So
Good
told
move
me, like,
there.
his bike.
I should probably get that.
The other bike became the parts bike for the rest of the week.
We just started picking it apart for whatever they needed.
We drop off that donation bike. They're like, donate your bike here. It's like, hey, good luck
Dude,
Yeah.
the rest of that.
it was
Just-
funny
parked
that
bike.
whenever like we bring each bike, they were like, "All right, yeah, that one go over to the the good to go pile." Like, no, hey man, that one you got to
Yeah.
take over to the repair pile. Yeah, take that one over there.
Yeah.
It was the guy just like, "Good, wow, that one's fucked. All right, take it over there." Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's all right.
Yeah, the one I had, the guy was like, absolutely not. Right, so take a right.
Hey man, take that one over there so we can put a seat and handlebars back on.
I was like, where you guys want this piece of shit? And they were like, just leave it over there.
You're like, I don't care. Just take it. As long as it's out of my hands. Do whatever you want with it.
Oh man, Minnie not getting overheated. So on the way out, because you guys were in the truck, just so you know, about 500 yards from the exit, the temperature gauge was a millimeter off of redlining on hot. So I was creeping up, turning the engine off, trying to somehow get the engine in the shade of the RV next to us and hoping for a draft. Because I'm like, baby, I just need you to get on the road, and I'm going to hope that once we get up to 50, you'll cool down for me. And then we start moving fast enough. And I'm like, Dylan, what do I do? He's like, dude, I don't know, man. You just got to keep going.
Yeah.
That's this.
I think you can do at that point. Keep her going.
Yeah.
Winnie's done us some justice, though. I mean, year one, real rough. Last year, kind of rough. This year, I mean, what a peach she was. Like, I saw someone put in the Facebook group that this year's Burning Man felt like the Goldilocks of Burning Man's. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. And I truly feel that. Like, year 3 was the creme de la creme of the year of Burning Man that you would want. And I honestly don't know if there was it could have made it any better. Like, I left with such a full cup. For the previous years, I felt like I kept leaving and I was like, I feel like I could have just done this last thing, or like I missed that, or I'm counting down the days to the next one. But this year, it just felt so full. I was like, last night we were sitting there looking at some art cars and stuff, listening to music. I'm just chilling. I'm like, I'm good. This is the best burn that
I'm content.
ever. Like, I'm content. Like, I can leave here happy and say that I did it all. I maxed it out to the fullest.
Like a nice meal at a restaurant. You just sit back and you're like, God, dude, compliments to the chef. This was fucking bananas.
Yeah.
But the chef is like, fuck your meal.
Yeah.
Hope you had a
So you're
terrible
welcome.
time.
Yells it from the back. It definitely felt like this year too, since it wasn't fully packed. And I guess from the past couple of years, how rough it was, they didn't have as many new people. So it was a lot of people who've been going out there year over year over year. So everyone it definitely felt like more of everyone was way more self-reliant this year. Like, it
I feel
wasn't
like-
people overheating or people having way more engine problems, or if they did have an engine problem, they knew how to like fix it or knew where to go to.
More sex on the playa. You know, everyone just felt more.
How about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
They were getting it too.
I came back to work and they're like, "Do you see anything like wild?" And I was like, "Well, define wild." They're like, "I don't know, maybe this or that." And I was like, "Well, actually, like, yeah, I did see something wild I haven't seen there before." At 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning at a sunrise set for goldfish, crowd clears out and you got 2 people having sex on the playa.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of gross. I don't know if I want playa in those areas. Sounds uncomfortable.
and just the two of theirs entourage. Like, you kind of tell which ones are their friends, just kind of like standing there looking around.
I mean, you could not look. Like, how could you not? You got a full moon going on.
That's actually
Sunrise.
mandatory for the 5th year vow renewals. You have to be out there.
I was waiting for the DJs to hold up scorecards when the guy finished. You know?
Dude, I feel like if people are having sex in
7.5.
public around you, it's your civil duty to watch. Like, it's what you're there for.
I mean,
I mean,
at
it's
a
a
certain
show.
point, I just got uncomfortable because I'm like, this has been going on for a while. And I'm just
I mean,
staring at a dude
You
that.
saw
So, I
the
mean,
guy
this-
switch gears and then dial it back. Like we
saw
all
the
dialed
patterns.
back and then get back into it.
I mean, you started to notice a pattern of the sex they were having, and you're like, huh, all right, well, I'm glad you're having a good morning. You're not gonna get that side of my eyeballs.
Go
Best
up there
goldfish
next to them.
shut
Morning,
ever.
guys. Hey,
Nice job.
hi.
You're
And
really
you just
taking
walk
sun
up
in your
and start telling
butthole.
them a story.
Just smack him on the ass.
Yeah,
Good
pat
job,
him on
mate.
the back. Hey, man, you're doing great. Hey, I really
Are you saying Austin
really
just lean
appreciate
down in
what
your
you're
ear and be
doing.
like, dude, so this one time when I was growing up, like I had this frog.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I had this best friend
Just sit
Timothy,
down
right?
next to him. Life story.
I mean, he really did take sunning his butthole to a whole new level. Actually, what's funny is I don't know. I think that was the same morning that me and Dylan went to the bathroom and we saw these girls bend over with their spreading their cheeks, sunning their butthole. I'm pretty sure it was the same morning.
I think
and
that was the same morning too. Yeah.
I was like, it was the same morning
Same
because we
morning.
were at playground. Those two guys were fucked up. And they're like, just pee on my art car. Like, it's fine. I got a towel there. And I was like,
We're getting out of
no.
here.
I was like, I am getting the fuck away from this right now.
I
What a
could-
morning that was.
I could stop
They
there.
were
All
like,
these
which one's the
goldfish.
closest one? And I was like, that way. And we're going that way. You go that way, and we're going that way.
Plot twist: they weren't sunning their butthole; they were trying to check each other to make sure they wipe well.
I mean,
It
that
could have
wouldn't
been.
They
make
were
sense.
checking for
Like,
ticks,
I mean,
bro.
Them sand ticks.
It's like with a little broom.
I came out of one of the porta potties, and this girl, she caught my attention. She was like, "Hey, psst, come here." I was like, "Okay, well, what's up?" She's like, "You want to take a really good shit?" And I was like, "I'm intrigued." She opened up the porta potty door. She was like, "You ever felt like a little princess taking a poop?" It was a princess throne, all decked out. Like, well, now I feel obligated. Okay.
Dude, I ended up
love
in
that
that
they
same
decorate
porta
the
potty like 4
porta-potties.
times.
Austin's like, I am a pretty princess.
I'm a pretty
It was,
princess.
to be fair, it was a surprise every time, but I was like, yeah, this is kind of my natural location. And you can't hear it from outside, so you just open the door and it's like it's like 5:30 in the morning. I'm fucking blitz like
Yeah, I tried to go to that one and the Bumblebee. Did you guys find the Bumblebee?
I don't think I saw the Bumblebee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm disappointed about? There's no Nicolas Cage one this year. Or Leonardo with Titanic.
Ironically, the Nicolas Cage one was much more frightening, but made me feel much more at home than the Leo.
I
I
don't know,
would
but it was
imagine.
Titanic, Leo.
I found one that was decked out like a school and it had chalkboard on one side. Fully chalk, like full of chalks. Just they really let people have that. It's like it's just
oh yeah.
full eraser. It was
Yeah.
great.
Where they had the census information in one of my porta potties. I'm like, this is actually the exact time I want to be served information like this. Like if we could get like little Burning Man bulletins. I mean, they're breaking down data where I'm like, oh, interesting. You know, after year 2, there's a drop off, and then the
I
age
did read that.
demographic,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's like here's the international breakdown. We have 13% people that don't know if they're male or female attending. That's a fair amount of people that don't know what they are.
I don't think it's that they don't know. I think it's just they're non-binary, so they don't identify with either.
No, there was a non-binary option too.
Oh, there was just one I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh.
Well, people put I don't know because they don't want to just say sometimes.
Maybe.
Like sometimes I put I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't have like Zer as an option. So
All I'll say, guys, the messages written on the wall in those deep playa porta potties, there were some spiritual moments people had in there, and they shared those moments they had in those things.
That's like talking to aliens, the deep playa porta potties. I mean, those things are fucked up.
Those deep playa porta potties, those were experiments. Those weren't.
I still think they were
Those weren't meant to
an
be
art
fun.
installation out there. So I was like, just bought them from the rental company. It's like, don't take the labels off, please. Don't take those off.
Do you imagine if they lit those on fire too?
I think we would have known. We would have smelled it.
They did not
Yeah.
clean those the entire week. They were
Doors are
full of
falling
dirt.
off. I mean, Those deep playa porta
Dude.
potties are always garbage.
That's one thing that got me was how many broken porta potty doors there were. Like I've been to so many
That
festivals.
door has a
and
story, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to know what happened.
Yeah,
Why?
dude, I don't know,
And
man.
they're
They just
also
got some
clean
really
other
strong
than that.
hinges on them. They just get blasted off from getting slammed on the
Blasted
road.
off. Like,
Yeah.
how's that happening? Is someone having a meltdown in there and they're like, I gotta get the fuck out, but like the door handle's not convenient, so they just go SWAT team on the exit?
Yeah, the whole
That's
hinge
happened.
breaks, but the little spring, the thin little spring just
Yeah.
hangs on, and it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it'll still slap shut on you. You know,
Yeah.
but it's just like
Yeah, dude.
dragging the duct and the playa with it.
I had one that was blasted off a hinge and it was hanging out at an angle wide open. And I just took that thing and ripped it fucking closed and slammed the lock on. And as soon as I went to leave and popped the lock, it just fucking flew off.
Because you
Felt
lock
like the
and it just
Kool-Aid man
falls
coming out of that.
I did like the addition this year of the P wall on the deep playa porta potty.
Dude, that shit made me wish I was a man.
That was great.
Couldn't believe more guys weren't using it. I'm like, hey, I get it if you want to do your nefarious activities, but like you're literally surrounded by a black curtain of darkness. And I know we all had to bike 10 minutes to get here, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And when I had to pee out there, it wasn't like I see a pee coming in my future. My bladder would somehow just instantly fill
Oh,
like a
yeah.
toilet bowl. And it's like,
Yep.
right now. We got to go right now.
Yeah, I definitely did the thing and then left and just turned right back around one time. I was like, wow, that's not physically possible. The tubes aren't that large to allow that much volume to flow quickly.
Your body was like, oh, cool, we're comfortable with this. Got it. Round 2.
A couple times I'd stand in that line at the porta potty that had the piss wall. I'd just be standing there in line at the stall. I'm like, wait a minute. I forgot about that. Go over there.
Those are really nice though too, because those were like biodegradable bathrooms. So they're essentially using that to use for agriculture. So like they're reusing the waste. So I think that those were actually a science experiment.
Mhm.
In
like
like
a
the
Martian.
best, healthiest, positive way. They were so nice on the inside too. They had a light. You didn't feel like this really like nasty thing. Like that was a pleasant experience. Same thing with the senses. It had a nice little pamphlet describing exactly what was going on with those. And I was like, oh,
That looked like that kind of looked like a permanent structure too. Like that looked like that will be a multi-year thing. So maybe that'll be something if they tested it out this year, they'll start doing them more.
It'd be
out there.
nice. And I love that we had a map. So like it was a dire situation. We knew because
Colton's like, okay, over there. We just like, get the direction right. Okay, all right, here's this.
Yeah.
you get so close to the maps, like it's a compass.
Yeah, he's like pointing, all right, there's something over there. You're like, Colton, there's nothing over there. No, it's over there. Just,
trust me.
you don't
This
see
is
the
one of them
tiny
we
blue
went
light
to.
until you're on top of them, you know?
I think the worst one we went to was the one that the lights were not on. You guys are like, Colton, there's nothing there. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, it's on here. And we get up to it, and the little blue lights weren't lit up anymore.
They weren't lit
Those
up
were
reason.
the most fucked up. I think someone was just like, hey, we need to, like,
Shut
this
those
is,
down.
Shut it
They're
down.
done.
Shut it down. Hey, shut.
you're making business decisions at those porta potties. You're like, I am here.
But
Yeah.
by the fourth opening and checking, you're like, all right, it has no improvement. Okay, let's go.
And come by the last night, all my lights stopped working.
Oh, I had no lights. We were all riding lightless, lightless.
I was
None
fine.
of us had lights.
I had lights.
The poor check
Sorry.
engine light
one
really
had a
hung
light.
in there until the
The
last
green
day.
LED was
My
solid.
bike was barely biking at that point. I mean, she gave me 3 Burning Mans. I can't. She was like, "Rrr."
That bike was a piece of shit, dude. I can't believe
No?
you rode that
Okay.
for 7 days.
Okay.
You don't
buddy.
agree? Look, I'm sure it took you through some moments, but
So
you beat
the
the
reason
fuck
I
out
don't
of that
think
bicycle.
the reason I don't think it's a piece of shit is because that bike lasted me 3 years. Like by the end, she was absolutely a piece of shit. But to make it 3 years to Burning Man, like that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Colton's bike, I think, only made like a year and a half. Dylan's bike, well,
Two and a
Dylan's on
half.
like
It got two and a half.
2.5.
Yeah.
Like,
And another festival.
she lasted. She did good.
Yeah. Tires, meh.
The check engine light, by the way, Tyler, I unboxed that yesterday. So not only did your portable battery explode when your bike fell over, but it also like mangled the connection with the USB port. So when it did turn back on and continue to operate for a little bit, I have no idea how. I mean, that must have been like a magnetic electric situation, Bluetooth, electricity. I'm not sure
Tesla would be
how
proud.
that was working out.
It worked like a check engine light.
Yeah. The battery pack was just opened up. There were 2 plugs on it, and I just kind of would alternate between the two. But, oh, it came on. Great. All right. 10 more minutes. Let's go.
It's the equivalent of smacking your dashboard.
Yeah.
Dang. All right. So,
And then the last night, T-Max, that was the only night you didn't bring goggles, and that's when the sandstorm
Yeah.
got in.
I was so pissed. Did I not bring them? I threw them away because right before we left on that ride, I've had them 6 days. I didn't like them when I brought them. I just, like didn't have anything else. I'm like, it'll be, I guess, to be better than nothing. And so the last day, I'm like, I've been carrying this around for 6 days. I haven't needed it once. We have a couple hours left. I'll be fine. Threw them away.
Thank you. You were the
that's
reason
what
the
caused the
sandstorm
dust
came,
storm.
by the way.
My fault.
The man was like,
Oh, my
"God,
The
fault.
universe was like, now's the time.
the man
6
got
days was
you.
like, hold, wait.
Let it go." Everybody
I
make
guess
fun of
Monday-
T-Max.
I guess Monday they had a gnarly sandstorm too, like whiteout sandstorm. So like we just missed it.
Yeah.
You're there for that cold, though.
Those wide out ones where you can barely see in front of you, and the art cars are going across the playa, and you just
Dude, that was the sandstorms we got. I didn't realize how magical those moments would be to be able to, if you're prepared, right, and you're like hunkering down, you're getting everything out of your backpack, and you're putting your mask on, you're hunkering down, and you're just like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. Yes, like
It
that
did
was
change the
nothing,
vibe
too.
quite a bit.
oh yeah, just everybody's covered up,
When they hooked together the art cars,
That was wild.
that
cool.
was nuts. For some reason, I felt like the lasers got crispier, the sound. It was just like, never ever did I think I'd want to see a reindeer connect to a moon, connect to a battleship. I don't know.
Oh, that was
Confirmed
cool.
too. That was Rufus. That was Rufus. We were saying that when they were all connected. Yeah,
Really?
I looked it up later. That was Rufus. Yeah.
I was like, man, that kind of seems like Rufus, but I don't know because they're playing something like not like they normally play. I was like,
They had
huh.
been playing since sunset. There. Yeah.
They're like just pull John Summit at space,
Put it
8
all
hours
together.
deep.
Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty cool.
that was a nice
It's fun
final
how
stop.
many.
Just kind
What's
of
that?
that was a nice final stop. Just kind of hanging out, take in the laser show they had going on from like all the different, all the different cars they had set up there.
Mm-hmm.
How
was
about the
cool,
energy
right?
with the cops? It felt like
I loved the cops.
They were
The cops were great. I mean, I like when they shine the light when I'm passing out my little trinkets, and I'm like, "You think I'd do something like that in front of you?
think
You're
I'm that
crazy."
stupid? I already took them.
And
They're
so,
like,
like,
"We
just
just gotta
seeing, like,
check."
they're just like laughing and goofy, and then they take the little trinkets and they're like, "Oh." And then I saw this really sweet story in the Facebook group someone shared of their interaction with the cops, and these 2 cops came up and they're like, "Oh, you don't have any lights. Like, no one's gonna be able to see you." And he's like, "I know they died." And the cops were like, "Here, take some of ours." And they're like, "Oh, thank you." And they're like, "Can we give you a hug?"
red and blue just flashing
Yeah, I was
everywhere
gonna
they
say
go.
police issue. That would be.
It's a nice moment.
Sorry.
Boy thing to do. You just took away from someone's nice moment.
Sorry,
No, it's true though. That would be a cop thing to do. You just hand out red and blue just to fuck with people.
You press
Like,
this
bro, you
button,
look like a
it'll-
fed.
a little siren go off if you press this button. It's great.
But it was cool, just their energy, except for the last the last night. It felt like it got a little tense with the cops responding to some stuff.
Yeah, it's probably after
When?
Thursday. They were like, "What the fuck, dude?"
After the man burn, you don't remember them zooming around and stuff?
Dude,
They were like zooming around. It
doing
looked like
every
they were
bit of
just like,
95, dude.
The burn,
it looked like they were going to like an emergency situations. Like it didn't seem
They were
like
hard.
Yeah, there was
the
a couple.
burn pushed a certain energy into everything for sure. I did feel a little bit more excitement going on.
Dude,
Well, I think
it was that in the sandstorm too. But yeah, dude, people were like, "Dude, it's this festival's almost over, and I'm not dead yet." So still got some gas in the tank.
well, then you also have the weekend burners that come in, which makes it crazier. So you notice the cop
Mm.
present go up, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just because there's more people. And so, like, you got to think you got weekend people coming in to burn it, man. They are trying to literally burn it to the ground.
Yeah,
They haven't had to pace
Yeah.
themselves. They're like, I'm trying to meet God, and I'm trying to meet God right now. Like,
And
you
those
might
cops
meet
that have
God,
been
but it's
out
not the way
there-
you want.
And those cops that have been out there since the beginning, you know, they're volunteering. They're volunteering because they love it. Whereas the cops that came in for the weekend, Burning Man's like, we need you guys.
Yeah.
You're out
Yeah.
here specifically
Yeah.
for this.
they're
All
like,
hands
"Fuck,
on
dude, I
deck.
got to go out in the middle of the desert, to fucking police
Yeah,
them."
they wanna be out there. Damn it.
Degenerates out here. You just see them making that 2-hour drive in. God.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking arrest some people tonight. I swear to God.
I swear to God.
I don't
got my
think I heard
paperwork ready.
anything about arrest this
Pre-filled.
year.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
I haven't
Any
seen any kind of
report.
arrest report this year.
I mean, I'm sure somebody got arrested for something.
My dude showed
but-
up with his
I mean,
extra
I mean,
sets of
think about
handcuffs.
how much of a pain it would be to actually arrest somebody out there. Like now you got to take care of this
You got
person.
to transport him
yeah,
somewhere.
transport them all the way to wherever they go.
They
So-
probably have a headquarters out there, though, I would imagine.
yeah,
Probably put you on a fucking bus or in a van
It's at
with a
that
bunch
town
of other
right before you
delinquents.
get
Really?
into town.
yeah, just
Oh,
lock
that's
you in
really
like
nice.
an
That
old
first
west
town,
style
yeah, because they have
jail cell.
all the motels, all the Rangers are staying at.
I wonder in comparison to other festivals or events of this size, because like how many events are there with 60, 80,000 people at them for
Quite a
7 days, and what kind of issues are had
Not that
at those events in comparison? Because it seems like statistically there should have been a lot more problems than there was. Like we didn't feel anything. Miami, you get 5,000 people together for 4 hours and you have more problems than we had for 7 days out there.
Mhm.
And I think that's part of what I was saying before with my surprise of how smooth everything was. Like people were just there to do their thing. It's great.
I mean, I saw a lot of potential friction points, and people seem to be doing pretty good with them, so that was surprising.
Yeah.
I think you have to do a lot more research for you out there, though. So, like, you are mentally preparing yourself for the experience. Whereas, like, Miami, if I go to Miami, like, you're like, I'm going to get fucked up and everything's going to be fine. Like, you don't have to worry about survival instincts kicking
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
For Burning Man, it's like, there's nothing out there. Like, something bad happens to you, you're getting airlifted, and that's an expensive ride.
And the commitment of everything you did to get there, regardless of how you did it. Like nobody was there without quite a bit of either financial or time sacrifice and planning and all that. So the
We're
stakes
also
are
one of the
naturally high.
rarities out there without jobs out there that most people have a shift to do, or like times they have to be at certain places for work. Well, like what we did, guys, is pretty rare out there. Like most people that kind of do what we do usually are like, they're the heads of the camp, so they don't have to take care of anything because they're paying people to. Whereas we set it up to where we're like, we don't want to work while we're out there the whole time. So a lot of people also have like, all right, I got to be sober tonight to make my 8 a.m. shift the next
Fuck
day
that.
or whatever they have.
Ain't
going
no one
on.
thinking they got to be sober for an 8 a.m. shift. They're like, I'm going to go show up here fucked up.
Dude, if
100%.
the
They're just
person
thinking about
serving
the
me
shift.
waffles
They're just
at
thinking
8
You're
about
thinking
a.m.
about the
isn't
shifts
fucked
though.
up.
You're like, I can't take this second tab, I guess, at 4 a.m. Good luck.
Mhm.
Like,
Or
I
you can.
could, but is it worth it?
Dude,
There's
I
a little
ran
bit more
into a
to
bartender
hear.
who said he'd been tripping for like 3 days straight. So, I mean, he straight up put my cup upside down and poured beer over the bottom of it, and it just splashed out all over the counter. And his coworker looks at him. He's like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?"
Seemed right to me.
He looked at him. He's like, "Dude, I
Just saw an object. I'm trying to put this on that, right? Like,
They said
you
put
guys
it
have,
on the
Go ahead,
cup,
Dylan.
not in the cup. No, go ahead.
T-Max, Austin, Tyler, you guys, I felt like, man, when we transitioned to the night out, you guys still somehow were going out during the day. what were some of the highlights? I mean, like, what were some of the activities or the events and stuff that you saw out there? Like, I mean, you came back with some trinkets and stuff, but any cool camps that you checked out or things you did?
I'll give T Max props, man. He found the coolest stuff from the camps. He talk about it, man. You came home every day with something new.
Yeah, are you referring to just the one screen printed shirt that I got? Oh,
Which I'm so jealous of.
It was pretty nice.
It was pretty.
That was a nice shirt.
Yeah, there was a camp that was screen printing the ticket, like a big version of the ticket, and I just took my shirt off that I had because I wasn't planning for it, and I had them do it. It was awesome. That was the last shirt that they did, which was super cool for the burn. So that was cool. The pennies were really cool, where they smashed out the pennies. That was cool too. The coffee was my favorite.
That coffee was really great. Man.
That
Oh,
coffee,
Captain had a
To
breakfast.
wake up
I was
to
like,
that
listen,
guy.
buddy.
That guy
As I'm
talking
sipping
every
my
morning.
freshly roasted coffee, and I'm like, all those guys in that RV right there just went to sleep. I just want you to just they went to sleep like 30 minutes ago, bro. Get after it.
I think what was great hearing him too was like you could hear the week taking a toll on him the further and further you got. Like, come get your coffee. It started off as like churros and coffee. You get an orgasm in your mouth. You're gonna love it. Come on over to come just get it. Come. Yeah, we got coffee right here.
Slower and slower.
He's like, I'm just here because I gotta be now.
Same Speedo though, right?
No, he had multiple Speedos.
Okay.
Same Captain Hunt.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
His call
He
outs
had
got
one that was
more
just
and
like
more.
tassels. It was just like leather tassels.
His call outs got more and more insulting as the week went on. Like, hey, you look like shit. Get your ass out of here.
Yeah, that was a few of those.
I really like the nudes, like the chopsticks, like the send nudes, like the ramen. We've used the chopsticks twice now. I think that's like I love the little memorabilia of those. They have like the little Burning Man engraved on it with like it says send nudes, but it's like NOODS. I love those. That was like such a good find, T-Max. So very, very, very good.
That was fun.
There was one of the days. It was the day I kind of went out. I think it was like Tuesday, maybe. And so Colton had warned me about a previous experience with a mountain bike course he had found. And I'm out like way over on the other side of all the camps. I mean, I was maybe at like, I think like 5 o'clock or something like that, way over there, right at the playa. And I found a badass mountain bike course. It had like whoops and berms and all kinds of stuff, like little structures set up. And I take the totem off the thing, the check engine light, get it prepped, and I'm out there just hitting it hard, having a good time. And they had teeter-totters out there, and then I go up the most basic little tabletop, just the most basic thing they had there. Go up it and kind of like get to the peak and just lose my balance and fall off the side. I'm like, oh man, I landed it great. And I go to pedal and just like the most worst crunch I've ever heard come from my bike. I look down and my sprocket is at a 90 degree. The main sprocket, like, all like, it's a mountain bike. So there's 3 of them stacked there. Just all of them are just. I look up and like the guy running the camp just gives me a thumbs up. Yeah, man.
Job done.
Our job is to mess up your bike out here.
Yeah, true.
Dude,
He's like,
that's the real attraction.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You didn't take it to what was the name, Austin, of the guy that fixed your bike?
Dude, there's not
Mike's.
a single name I remember out there, but that guy was great. Wasn't
Oh,
he
no,
naked?
it took me 10 minutes to get all those
Naked.
sprockets straightened out.
It was Mike's. I think it was Mike the repair bitch. I think was the name of it. And he was a nudist and he was naked the whole time. And
He was like, "Fuck, what do we got here?"
it's so wild. It's such an odd interaction to watch because there was no acknowledgement of the fact that he's butt ass naked the entire time in the playa, in the desert of all places, fixing a bike.
Did he have shoes?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Probably had boots.
He was prepared.
Yeah.
Then. That's all you need.
That's all
Dude,
you need.
what was great is I
would
popped the
disagree.
chain off right in front of this place. I literally took my bike and parked it in a thing and was gonna like start to fix it. And then T Max is like, "Dude, there's a bike. You're literally standing in a bike repair place right now." And I look over and I'm like, "Oh, cool."
Like guys already
Yeah,
down
no,
there
I was
fixing it.
very energetic about getting him to go to the naked bike repair guy. I was like, this is meant to be. I got to see how this is going to play out.
T Max saw the naked guy. Austin didn't. T Max was like, "Hey, over there, push it over there."
There's so much nudity at Burning Man that it doesn't even feel weird though. Like it's just such a place where nudity happens, and you're like, oh, a naked person.
How about the chick that participated in the marathon barefoot?
Oh, she was running barefoot, and everyone's making comments. She's
Barefoot?
like, I don't understand why people are making comments about me running barefoot. Like it's weird, and it took everything in me to not turn around and be like, bitch, that is weird.
Yeah.
Like that is wild. How are your feet okay? Like I got shoes on and I'm dying.
She must go barefoot. on a
Barefoot?
regular basis.
Oh.
There's no way you could do that and not. I feel like you would.
Her
run.
feet
No, those have to be seasoned
I
feet
still
to be able
wonder-
to do
Yeah.
that.
I had boots on a lot, and my feet are still destroyed. So would it have made how much more destroyed could my feet have been if I was barefoot?
Oh,
I can tell
a
you.
lot more.
Yeah.
yeah. You ever seen like a motorcycle crash?
I don't have anecdotal
Anecdotal.
data
Godel is the
to
word you're
point
looking
to.
for.
No, last year my feet were fucked from walking in the mud trying to get places. Yeah, no, they were feeling
Healing skin.
Yeah, because it's acidic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super acidic.
and then
And
it kind of starts to stack. If it gets real gnarly, then you start to get these rashes and
Were you barefoot in the clay? Oh yeah, with the water to really spice it up, get that chemical reaction going. Absolutely, dude.
I
Get some
would have
pruning
too, but
and
at
then
some
do the
point,
salt.
your
Oh man,
boots
dude.
get way down in the
Yeah,
mud.
you
You
couldn't.
can't walk in boots.
Yeah,
It's like socks and trash bags.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think we went barefoot and realized like that was better.
No, there's no we. I tried socks. I was like, absolutely not. I'm sitting my ass in the RV, and I parked my ass in the RV the rest of the time.
If you had to walk a long distance, you did it barefoot. If you had to just go somewhere short, you'd do socks because you could just take the sock sleeve off and not deal with the mud. But over a long distance, the mud would start to cake up on the sock, and now you're back to square one.
Would you
No, I mean, there's a
reuse the sock
strategy.
sleeve as the week went on, or is that a one and done kind of thing?
You could reuse it
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, but it
Crust
was like
off.
it happened. It happened like later Friday, and so we left Sunday. So we really didn't get to we didn't experience it long.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Start
It would've
reaching
been
into
miserable.
the dirty sock pile. That's what I'm going to use there.
But back to the girl, I would say there was a fair amount of stimulants involved in that equation because she, one, looked skeetered out of her mind, and two, I think we were on like mile 7, and she was still pacing.
No, I think we were on the second lap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She'd done a full lap,
No, one lap was
6 miles.
a little over. No, it was more. It was
Oh, yeah.
like 7, about like a little over 7.5. I remember hitting like 7.7 on the first lap.
Okay.
So this was second lap. So almost like 15 miles into it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much you can train barefoot. I don't know. Yeah.
It's just
Well, people who
psychobehavior.
go barefoot, like it's yeah, as long as you do it consistently, your feet can develop really, really thick padding on the bottom. People do it in the wild all the time. I've seen survivalists who go barefoot.
How many of those
You gotta-
survivalists are running marathons?
But for her to be like, I
yeah,
don't
dude,
understand why
look, in
people
that
are.
environment,
guys
to do
upset.
all the distance. I mean,
You
yeah,
guys
that
know
shit would be
shoes
fucked,
are
I mean.
a relatively recent invention, right?
For her to be like, I don't know why people are upset. That means usually if you are normally doing that, you have a pretty easy response. Like, yeah, usually people freak out about it, but I'm
True.
used to it.
I think
But
she was
just
fucked
went
up.
full bug eyed.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
I think she
that
was.
was
Gone.
I think she was just fucked up and was like, you know what? Let me do this without shoes, and decided to do it barefoot. Like it doesn't seem
Even the
like he was like a
naked
normal
people were-
barefoot
even the naked
person.
people
Have you
had
ever
shoes
like
on.
walked in the street? Like when you were a kid, did you ever like walk in the street or walk down a sidewalk
So,
with no
I don't
shoes
think
on?
what's weird is
Yeah.
that she was barefoot because like walking on something barefoot. Because you're gonna walk somewhere barefoot. Burning Man, in the grand scheme of things, that's a great terrain to walk barefoot. I think what's weird is that acidic dust seeping into your skin and your feet. That's where I'm like, that's kind of a weird decision because now you got
Yeah.
fucked up feet
On a Tuesday.
yeah.
on a Tuesday.
I understand
tea on
doing
a
it. Like
Tuesday.
when we were at the sunrise set at the Eye, there was a lady that walked by barefoot, but it didn't look like she was carrying her shoes with her. So she's like, all right, for the next like hour or so, I'm going to do the barefoot thing. Cool. That makes sense.
I love
know,
being barefoot.
running-
That
Hours. Oh my God.
I
And
definitely
she was
saw
in a rave
some.
fit too. All the other runners
God
had
bless
like,
her.
like running shorts on.
She
Like
was
they're-
like she'd been out all night. She's like, I'm gonna run this ultra marathon.
Didn't
Yeah.
even sign up for it. Just like, yeah.
I just
we're
did
here.
it. Like
She was,
Did she
was
have a
literally
bib? She
headed
didn't have
in
a
from
running
the
bib.
She didn't have a
sunrise
bib,
sex, and
so
she was
she
like,
just
"Oh,
probably
marathon."
She
Yeah.
just randomly joined it.
I'm just trying to piece this together, man. I just have a
Maybe
question.
maybe she just caught up with y'all from at the fence. You didn't see her. And
No,
just
she
thought,
looked. Her feet looked covered. She looked like
Ooh.
she'd been running for a minute,
Well, we all learn a lesson at some point.
or not,
No,
and that's
there
fine
was-
Or
too.
not.
There was definitely a
Yeah.
guy really fucked up one day out in the playa during the day when I went out there, and he was barefoot, no shirt, just like boxers on, just walking out there, just looked like just a nomad walking out there. He'd been at it for a while, coming back from the deep, just towards the camps. And I mean, this was 2:00 in the
Oh, yeah.
afternoon. He'd been out there a while.
Oh, that would be nothing like that one guy we were biking back after Friday night, Saturday morning when I was freezing, and this guy, he looked like
He was
bent
looking for
over.
help.
He looked like he had been searching for someone for hours, and he didn't have his bike, and he's like, "Fuck, I'm tired of this," and he's
But
like
someone that
still
walked
deep
out there in
out
the
there. I was
cold.
like, "Oh, this poor guy." I felt for him.
Fuck your bird.
He looked like he was at a bad time.
Sometimes we would pass by people and I'm like, I wish they just had like an information card. I could just like get a snapshot of their story. Like what are you doing? Where are you coming from? Where are you going? You would just see people on their own little soul quest, just by themselves or in an interesting scenario. Like the guy walking back. Like, did you go, you know what? You know what sounds good? I'm gonna go out into the deep playa and just look at the stars. And he made his way out to the Eye, and he was like, this is the most magical moment of my life. He had this profound realization about his purpose in life and all the divine inspiration coming to him in one moment, and the drugs start wearing off and the sun starts coming up and fucking frying his back like bacon. And he's like, none of this was worth it. I'm an idiot. I left my bike on the other side of the playa. I don't know who I am. I don't know where I'm at. Why did I do this? You know, that like I feel like that man had a story, and I just wanted to be able to.
He was looking for that phone that he lost in the playa that Tyler stole.
It took 3 tries to get
No,
that
it's
thing
here.
back. To get somebody, it took 3 tries to get somebody to take that thing. I couldn't give it away.
Man, we were fine. We're like, "Are you a ranger? Can you take this?" One was like, "Yes." The other one's like, "No."
Absolutely not. No,
You?
that's
And
not.
I
our
was like,
Made you want to throw it down and make someone else have to
yeah.
Someone else
make
is
an ethical decision. Just
Free
convenient.
phone.
Imagine someone walking and you just drop a phone right in front of them.
"Your child now."
What
It's
are
like
you
the-
doing? It's like your problem.
I've been trying to get this back. No one will take it back. You get it back. It's like that alien baby from year 1 that got passed off to that guy, to the motivational Katy Perry, walking in the
yours
temple
now.
carrying it like a child.
What'd you guys think of the temple, by the way?
Oh man,
The temple was pretty awesome.
what a energy there is in that place. It was remarkable. You know, it's just would truly change how you feel in that moment, you know. And it's funny how if you go in there at one point, you know, and if you have that experience, you go in at a different point. It's like the temple gives you a different feeling. Like, all right, you've already had that. Now I want that energy to go to somebody else, and you're here for, you know, a different purpose. You're here to help somebody. You know, it was really, really wild. It was nice.
I feel like I had a really cool experience in the temple this year. Like first year we walked around to experience it. Last year I took a picture that I got from a take one, leave one table at Okeechobee that I traded a Burning Man sticker for and got a picture. And her name, they put her on the back there like, "This is our friend Caitlin. She passed away. Like have fun with her, party with her." I took her around a couple different things throughout the year, and then I left her in the temple at Burning Man to like lay her to rest. And this year was cool. I didn't even walk around. I just got in there and I just felt called to like sit in the center, and I like closed my eyes and I felt like I was in, those like old like kaleidoscope kind like things that you have the Disney, the circle, you're like clicking. It's like you click fast enough. It's like a movie almost. I felt like I was seeing a movie to like multiple different lives. Like that's how it kept coming through, was like that kaleidoscope. And I was like, that is such a cool experience. Like I just got to sit here and like witness whoever these people are in the lives that they got to live and just like be a part of that. And I was like, that feels really special. I don't think enough people talk about Burning Man and how much of like a healing playground it can be. Like I think so many people think of Burning Man as this like drug infused, party infused, like intense, like crazy chaos, like insanity. But
none of
I
that
feel like
happens.
every time
No.
no, it totally happens. Like I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen, because like it absolutely happens. But if you allow it to be a healing playground, like the lessons that you can take out of it can be so profound and life changing. And just the integration process of everything afterwards, I think, is really like a unique experience that not a lot of people talk about either.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You could have so many different experiences there. Like you can go for the whole 7 days, not listen to a single artist, and still not do everything, not even close, right? You can go with kids and have like a whole experience just doing that. You can go and just look at the art and still not see it all. It's crazy. Kind of like build your own adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And for anyone who hasn't gone, whoever's listening to this, the sunrises, when people say they're beautiful, it's the culmination of all of your night and everything that's going on. And then everything just kind of seems to come together so perfectly right in that morning time. It's magical. It'll move you for sure.
Mm-hmm. The sunrises are definitely more magical than the sunsets. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh,
I
yeah.
swear I hear birds chirp when that sun comes up.
We did see
Yeah.
birds this year, funny enough. I was like, what the fuck are you doing out here, little guy?
I saw a crow.
Interesting.
I heard some god awful squawk, and I thought I was going psychotic. I'm like, this is where we've arrived to. Okay, like legitimate voices in my head, and then I just see this crow pop up. And, hey, dude, I'm cool, dude.
That's so weird. We've never
Just
seen
pull out your
birds out there
slingshot.
before.
Yeah, to your point though, Tyler, man. That sunrise, there's something about it. It's so whimsical and like enchanting. The sun starts coming up, especially if you got a good barbecue truck to follow. As the sun's coming up and you're biking out towards it, I think that's really where it grabs you the most.
Chasing the sunrise, just riding out towards the sun as it comes up. It was great.
Mm-hmm. I just looked up what like a spiritual meaning of a crow means, because that's so random. We've never seen birds out there.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what does that mean? Like, if you like, I believe in like animals have significant meaning and there's messages and everything around us. And so funny enough, the playa is Native American land for like people that don't know, like it's very considered like sacred land. And the crow is actually part of the Native American culture. And in Native American cultures, they view it as a sacred animal that represents new beginnings, as well as cleverness and intelligence.
Somebody had that crow cage and was like, release the crow.
Release the crow. Like
I've
the
been
dove,
saving this
but
bad
better.
boy all week.
There's someone spotted me and they're like,
That's the one.
he spun out enough. Let him go.
They'll think this is cool. There you go.
Oh, how about the squishy air filled couches? How did we feel about those guys?
I've already bought
Those
one.
are awesome. I can't believe
I
we
bought one
didn't have
immediately
more.
after.
I got one you can buy.
Gently used.
I couldn't believe that we didn't see more of them out there. I couldn't believe, we thought of them this year, and then I thought back on the previous years. We'd never seen them out there either.
Never seen them.
Which is kind of
Blow up
crazy. I mean,
vaginas.
you see them at other festivals. Remember, there was a lot at Bonnaroo.
It made me wonder: is that
Some people
a
had, like,
huge
big
East
ass
Coast
blow-
thing?
whole blow
You
up
don't see 'em
couches and
very
shit.
much on the West Coast.
I
I've
feel
been
like,
waiting for a long time. I'm surprised we didn't see more of them.
but I feel like you see them, like people in them at festivals on the West Coast. I don't know. Maybe because it's like a festival thing, and burning's been not like a festival.
It's very
Maybe they've just
portable.
gotten a bad
Okay.
rap because people put
I
them in
can't
the
imagine
dance
a
floor
better place
area.
for a
And
couch
we
than
hung
the
out in
middle
the
of the
back.
desert.
I mean, people
Sometimes
were
you just wanna
definitely
sit
digging
down.
them. Whether or not that's a
People
festival thing or
loved
not,
them.
people were digging those things.
I was having the time. That Saturday morning, I was so cool with under 3 jackets. I was like, this is what dreams are made of.
Dude, sometimes they look like a sliced pizza to a hungry homeless man. You see people come by and they're like, my dogs are barking. I'd love to sit in that thing. You're like, hey, dude, $20 on Temu. You too. Next year.
I don't know.
It was only $20.
I think the chill bean is probably worth spending the premium on, though. Like, I definitely, after sitting in the $21 one you got on Temu and then the chill bean, shout out Mike for buying that chill bean because your cheap ass wouldn't, Colton.
Sure.
Shout out Mike. Love Mike. But I think it's worth the premium. I just think like the quality of them are nicer. Like it
Yeah.
stayed up, blown up longer and better.
Definitely. Yeah.
I will be buying another chill bean now that one is.
But let the record reflect, they're all fucked now. So the other ones worked. And they, I mean, I don't know.
I think you tossed the $20 ones. I think the chill bean's savable. Somewhat.
I power wash the bikes and they're still gray. Pressure washed.
You just gotta put some vinegar on them. Call it a day.
Yeah, I mean, I'll dump in acid.
I'm not
I don't
coating
care.
everything
Dude,
in
all
vinegar.
my
I'm not
all my
doing
clothes cleaned, my boots cleaned. I got those
Yeah,
bad
but
boys
that's pretty
beeswaxed already. Dude, I find it really hard to believe that you can't save a piece of what is it? PVC plastic that they use for that shit. I mean, what's wrong with it?
They've just been sitting, man. We've had so much we've had to unpack compared to your bag that you had to bring overseas. You know, we got a whole.
It's still
bus.
sat for about a week. Don't get that
That's
wrong.
disgusting.
Okay, those boots were not clean for like a week and a half. So I mean, they got to marinate a little bit. Okay.
I don't have a bag of stuff sealed, waiting to be cleaned in my closet.
Did anybody find
Y'all
a
are
random?
nasty.
Anybody find a random boot in their stuff?
Still never found the boot.
I swear, someone when we were at that hotel, because I swear to God, we showed up at that hotel with 2 boots, and I think those guys that were there, that remember that random U-Haul that showed up, and they started talking to us, asking about stuff. I feel like they were like, let's go steal something random, and they saw a boot and they jacked one boot. I
It's the
still never
only thing I
found that
can
one
think,
boot.
dude. And the thing is, my fingertips were almost back and like done flaking.
Dude,
And I
that
was like,
wild.
I gotta tackle the rest of that garage. The garage still is in shambles, but I mean, that's just the way my fingertips are gonna be for a bit, I guess.
It's just a
Cuticle
commitment.
oil.
Just, Dylan's like, "Do you use some cuticle she got over there?" Dylan buys it every year, doesn't use it.
I never use it. Mine are fine. For all y'all wrecked.
Dude.
It was wild. I went
It's a
to
thought
get
that counts.
something
That's
out
right.
of my pockets, and my cuticles had totally separated from my thumbs.
Yeah, it was getting pretty wild for a while there. I was
Just ripping open. I'm
Let's
like,
get you a manicure. I got a manicure and they're all better now. Like, look at
I'm
that.
down. But those are your real nails.
Yeah, but the nails don't matter. I have a
yeah,
really
that
bad
shit,
habit.
that
of
shit had me thinking like human evolution did not do a very good job on the cuticles.
Oh, the cuticles are terrible. I got a
Bro,
bad
like-
habit of picking hangnails too.
Dude.
And look at those. They're gone.
Yeah,
We just need to get you a manicure.
I'm down.
You guys just
I'm
need some
pedicure.
calloused hands and you'll do just fine.
Tyler's like, you a bunch of pussies over there.
Just become a mechanic for 20 years, you'll be okay.
Put a
Yeah.
little blue collar in there.
All right,
You'll be just fine.
I'll get started tomorrow on that.
Yeah, just grab some nuts, start spinning, dude. That's prepare for next year.
Just go take a bolt off and put it back on. Bolt off, put it back on. You'll get them going.
Just let your AC shut down. Fix it.
Yeah.
No problem.
All right, so one last thing I want to end on, unless you guys have some other cool stories, but regardless of where this fits in, I am curious, what's one lesson you took away from this burn?
I got one queued up. I've been wanting to share. It was super simple, and anytime you're in like a survival setting, there's lessons that come out. But when that last sunrise, I was riding back by myself, and it was pretty stormy. I didn't really know where I was. I didn't have a map. I had a general direction, And it was just like such a great analogy for life where like sometimes you just know where you're not supposed to be going and you just got to trust your gut and go to the next like landmark. Like, so I found the next, you can't see that far with all the sand. You couldn't see much. So it was just like trust and go and wait for something to appear to show you that you're heading in the right direction or adjust. And, it's simple, but it was just such a good analogy for life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
that was a good one.
I'll go after T Max because mine came from a conversation with T Max. So when T Max, you asked me about like my family, like my background and everything, and it took me down like a deep spiral that I never realized before. But I've realized that in a lot of my life, I felt so isolated. Like I'm on my island, my grandfather's on his island, my mom's on like their own island. Like I don't like there's not a lot of like closeness. And so because of that, I've isolated myself a lot in life. Like I've kept people at arm's length. So like Austin, you came up to, or you're like, what do you give a fuck about? And like it's such a facade because I'm like so scared of like letting people in and being close. And so like my work, so like I've just thrown myself into work as like an escape, everything like that, because that's the only place I feel like accepted because of my results. So my awareness that came from all of this was that the next level of like growth for me is like focusing on connection with people and not being so afraid to be like really vulnerable and open and like letting people see past the surface level. So like thank you T Max and thank you Austin for like saying those things because that just allowed such like a deep like healthy spiral into my thought loops. And so I'm excited to see what comes out of that.
Nice.
Yeah, I just learned so much about myself while I was out there. When you come back, you have a full reset on the things you pay attention to in life, and you kind of start to realize the main things that provide the stress in your life. You know what I mean? Beforehand, you're just on autopilot, living your life, doing whatever, just dealing with it, whatever comes at you. And it's when you come back, you kind of like start fresh and you kind of like, everything's great. And then it's like smack. Oh, that's one of those things that you got to deal with, and oh, here's another thing. And it almost brings those to the surface. So you can, okay, I can deal with these head on instead of just kind of letting them happen because you feel like that's just part of your daily life. I don't think I could get much deeper than that, but that's it. It really brings out some stuff in your life when you come back. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's the nice thing about Burning Man. You can go as deep as you want, buddy. Yeah, for me, I had a couple lessons come up. I think, it's interesting you looked up the crow. Because for this year, I think, I'm speaking for the both of us, but like we just feel so full like that. There were so many moments. And I think like if we just took the moment of Burning Man as a whole, like that's what we'd been looking for. And I just felt like over this past year, I'd gotten really complacent in life. And however it decided to come up or come through on the backside of Burning Man, I realized like the times I'd felt most alive were connected with friends, but also pushing myself professionally and personally. And just realized like I hadn't had mentorship in a couple of years. I hadn't had anybody pushing me, holding me accountable. And so that was a big lesson. And another one was just communication. That's come out in some conversations with Abby and I leaving Burning Man, that like I think I process internally a lot and am afraid sometimes to communicate because I feel like it needs to be perfect. And if it's not perfect, I'm worried about how it's going to be received or hurting someone's feelings and allowing it to be ugly and being okay with like the truth and landing however it needs to land, but just being more comfortable with expressing.
Uh-huh.
You're here.
Dylan, Austin, you got anything in there?
Any lessons?
Oh, I mean, my lesson, my big takeaway was that you can you can push sound systems way harder than I ever thought possible. All you need is some really dedicated people who, and I quote, don't give a fuck about anybody's ears to really take it to the max. But I mean, the coolest thing about Burning Man is I met a lot of really genuinely awesome people. And it's just really cool to meet a lot of people from different walks of life, you know, during the day, touring around, running into people. And, you know, I was mentioning to Abby, I can't remember how the conversation came up, but it was, you know, we were like 4 or 5 days in already, and it was like something about the outside world. And I was like, there literally could be World War III going on, and we would have no fucking idea. Like, like Russia could already launch the nukes, and we would just be out here jamming, having a great time.
If there's anywhere I'd want to be during a nuclear attack, it's probably Burning Man.
Good point.
Honestly,
Honestly, though.
That's not a terrible group of people to make it through the apocalypse with.
Seeing all
we've just been having our apocalypse training this entire time. That's really what we're doing.
We'd have like all the stuff we'd need until we food, but you know, be good for a little bit.
And honestly, out there with the crowd, it would seem like such a positive experience. Like, look at all the shooting stars! Wow, it's so cool.
Well, they really went all in this year.
Man, that's fun. That sunrise started pretty early this year.
There's multiple sunrises. What is going on?
It is a dome. It's a dome.
But yeah, the reason I bring that up is because I had mentioned at the same time, I was like, and if there ever was going to be one, it would probably be now, because there's, you know, 60 to 70,000 super genuinely awesome, kind-hearted people who all left their lives that they lived, keeping the world going around in a positive way, and decided to go just disappear off the map and go do their thing in a desert for a while. So if one was going to start, it would probably be right now. So fortunately, it didn't, and we all made it out, and civilization kept ticking. So here we are.
Yeah, I don't know if I had a lesson. This year was kind of more of a just enjoy. You know, with a great group of friends out there. I didn't take any pictures the entire time. I just delegated that to all of you to do it.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to soak in everything. I know it kind of felt like a turning point for me, of just like kind of, you know, thinking about my family, and the responsibilities I'm going to be having going forward. Like, I'm just not going to be able to do these things for a while. So it's just, you know, thinking about them a lot, thinking about, you know, I'm so glad Tyler got to come out and enjoy, you know, someone from my family got to come out and enjoy something I've got to enjoy over the years. And, you know, being able to, everything I've built with myself and learning all these things, I'm able to share it. So he could kind of just come out and not have to start from the beginning. He's like, all right, I'm just going to jump right into the heat of it. It was just, you know, it was kind of neat because the whole entire trip was a euphoric experience for me. You know, there wasn't, you know, a lot of people go out and their first day out there is euphoric, and then the rest of it, you're like, oh, this is cool. The whole trip for me was euphoric of just experienced the whole thing and soaking it all in. So it was just a lesson learned of, you know, enjoy where things are at right now and embrace what's to come.
Yeah, I feel like you were peak euphoria and peak enjoyment whenever you were arguing with that lady over the phone about a goddamn package.
I tell you,
I have never seen someone so close to fucking losing it, dude.
She felt it through the phone.
I just thought I should start like rubbing his back, dude. Just fucking.
She's like, I could call you back. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. We're staying on this phone. And I go, we're on a recorded line, right? And she goes, yeah. And I go, I'm gonna let everyone hear what's going on right now. I just for a solid 20 minutes. And I go, now I don't care what happens at this point. I need it at point A or point B, and I'll go pick it up. But you will figure out which point it's going to be at by the end of the day. I was so done with everything with that package.
But boy, was it worth it. And then we got to end the trip with seeing Grizz as well.
Yeah, and seeing Grizz. That was so
such
great.
a good, like, very happy I followed my intuition. I like heard, I don't know if I like saw it on Instagram or like saw it somewhere, like heard it somewhere of like special guests and like it's going to be Grizz or something. But I kept like getting this feeling. I was like, special guest. I know Grizz is going to be there. Like, it's got to be Grizz at the gallery at this time. Like, we got to go. And that was just really cool because like me and Dylan like are squinting. We're like, is that Grizz? He's got like a hat, he's got these glasses on, like you can't really tell. And I'm like, I don't know if that's Grizz, but I'm vibing with this. And then you come up and you're like, yeah, it is Grizz. And we're like, oh yeah, like fired up.
We did not realize how deep the crowd was behind us.
Didn't, because we're so close.
We had the
like,
perfect spot. It was awesome.
we got there so early, and Maddie O'Neill, who opened for him, I guess not open, but like it was on before him. Oh, she crushed it. New fan right here. Loved her.
She did, yeah. She
Like,
did a really good job.
Me and Dylan got kicked off the platform because they were doing a performance, and I was like, oh, this sucks. And then Austin's like, come into the pit. And then we got in the pit, and we had great spots, and then Austin disappeared.
Per usual.
Dude, I said I had an hour, but yeah, that made sense whenever you told me about it later, because that stage was really starting to crowd the fuck out, which made sense. I guess everyone was showing.
I thought
up
I
for
heard a
Grizz,
guy
so.
on a. I was out. I just took a walk out in the playa, laid down, and then I was listening to this DJ, and I thought I heard a guy on a boat that was really a car, but it was a boat. Say, all right, I'm gonna stop playing because Grizz is coming up. And I walked up to him, and I was like, "Did you say Grizz is gonna be around here?" I was like, I don't know. I'm like, dude, I swear I just watched you speak into a microphone. So I asked someone else. So like, yeah, Grizz is coming up. So I bike to the bathroom really quickly. You know, I'm hauling ass there, hauling ass back. And Tyler, to your point, the moment I got back, my bladder filled right back up.
I have never been so close to me. Like, I might need to pee on this playa. I had to pee so bad during Grizz, but I was like, I'm not leaving. Like, I can't leave right now. Because I knew it was getting close to the end, too. I was like,
it was like me yelling at a soldier to hold the line. I was like, Abby, hold!
have another one of these Bulgarian cigarettes. Be fine. Shut up.
I got you guys, some guy in a cowboy hat's just locking eyes. He looked like a commercial for Marlboro cigarettes. He was just
like
locked in on me. I was like, dude, do you need directions somewhere? Like, I don't know.
He just stood there. He would change positions.
Oh yeah, he dropped them hips one direction to the other, and then start grooving a little bit. You know, locking eye contact. You know, he just kind of switched between me and maybe like two other people.
That was one weird experience with that dude. Yeah, everyone's like, if we don't antagonize him.
I was like, all the body language is saying you're okay, but I do not feel okay.
I think another highlight was being able to renew our vows at Rufus to Soul. Because Rufus, like after last year's mud ban, like I was just like so upset at the wedding we had of the shit show that it was. And then this year to see Rufus play on Friday, and Rufus to Soul is who we listened to when we first got together, and like we were listening to them all in Tulum and Mexico. We were falling in love. And then Dylan's quiet as shit at Rufus to Soul. I'm like, buddy, you good? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. Just trying to figure out what to say. But it was so like easy and flow and just like going with the moment. You got in the back, Colton finishes like his vows for the vow renewal, and his guy goes, I love Skrillex. My kid, I'm like, I'm sorry that I'm laughing. It's supposed to be a very intimate and beautiful moment, but like, what the fuck was that? And
that was mid vow, because when I finished my vows, I'm like, we're married again. Blowjob.
But I feel like this year there was just so much magic in the air. I don't know what it was, but I think like we keep talking about like we think that's the high for us to pause on and like start a family next summer potentially and like all those things. And then don't worry, once we have a kid, we're right back out there. Like that's the plan. Bring the child out there once like a certain age and everything. But I was like, if we're gonna pause for a little bit to start a family, like that feels like the year to pause on. Like that feels like such a, you don't want to go back one more year and be like, fuck, I should have just did it last year. Damn it.
No, you guys are definitely going again next year. I don't.
No, we're not. But I heard you're coming to EDC Las Vegas, and we would love to have
Did you see the squint on his face? I forgot to tell him.
Which part?
We're not going back to Burning Man next year.
Oh, we're not going back to Burning Man next year. We're gonna take like a.
But we are doing EDC Vegas.
But we are doing EDC Vegas.
Well, I'll be there, so if y'all want to tag along.
Exactly. So like, the party's not done. Like, I'm not getting pregnant tomorrow. We're a year away from that.
Oh, you don't know that?
No, I do know that.
Okay.
I'm putting my foot down.
Hey,
on
this
that.
is PG show.
No, it's not. No, it's not. But tons of fun is still to had. Dylan said he's done and then throws out Brooklyn Mirage. So I guess Brooklyn Mirage is he spits out his water. So Brooklyn Mirage, here we come.
We got options.
Yeah,
all
sometimes
right,
I hear
let's
like, man, I
shut it
really
down
got to
from
slow
here.
down.
If you're out there listening and you're on the fence of going to Burning Man, I highly
Don't do
encourage
it.
you buy a 1997 model or older
Or older.
and figure it out, man. You're gonna love
Figure
it.
it out.
Never buy the first round of tickets. You can always scalp them or get them cheaper later.
If it looks
And,
tough to make it, it is. That's the whole
It's
point.
everything you think
Do
it
it.
is, and the beautiful part, there's a lot of stuff that you don't know, what you don't know until you get there. But hey, I love all of you guys. Thank you for coming this year, making it the most magical year we've ever had. That's all I got. Anybody else? Final sign-offs?
Great job, guys.
Great job.
Y'all remembered your training, and that's all we could ask for.
Everyone remembered their training.
Safety third, guys.
Safety third.
Third.
All right. We love you guys. We'll see you later.
Peace.
Really happy I was able to execute that without leaving.